I want to apologize. That's it. I'm man enough to apologize when I'm wrong. Always have been. I was wrong. Big Nick was not the one that said the N word. So I apologize to Big Nick. It was an individual trying to get someone else's attention that was on one of his videos uh, that said it evidently to the side of him. Hey, Salty, your aunt, what's up? He evidently said it to the side of him. Okay. I apologize to him. He did not say the N word. Okay. So, like I said, I'm big enough and man enough to apologize when I've made a mistake. So I'm going to apologize that I made that mistake to Big Nick. No, I ain't going to work, bud. This is just a normal everyday shirt, bud. Uh, ain't going to work this early. Hell no, it's only 4:11 in the morning. If I went to work doing the job that I'm supposed to do, they would be pissed anyway over in the neighborhood that I'm doing it in because it'd be too loud, too much noise. But I did wanted to let you all know I did make a mistake. Oh my God, Teflon. I did make a mistake, and I apologize to you, Big Nick, for making that mistake. And it was someone beside you trying to get someone's attention. Uh, so I apologize to you. I made a mistake. I will pull that as a retraction. That is a retraction of the statement that I made that Big Nick said the N word. That is a retraction. However, it was on the video, and it was someone that was beside him trying to get the attention of someone else, evidently. So, once again, I apologize. Now, a little bit of information so you know Facebook falls to bear market uh, value. They dropped from $210 a share, 145 going down. Expected to go as low as $20 to $45 a share or lower. Hey, Betsy Peeler, how are you? Hope you're well. Thought you'd like to know that. Facebook is falling on its face. Twitter ain't much further behind them. So, just to let you know, I thought that was quite interesting. Articles of impeachment on uh, Trump passed the House, not expected to pass the Senate, and the Senate is not expected to convene until the 22nd. So, therefore, it was a waste of time, a waste of taxpayers' money, and just to do something to divide the country further, as they're trying to say, let's bring everybody together. Quite interesting. So they wasted your money, wasted my money, wasted the taxpayers' money to get nowhere with something really quick, really fast. The Senate still has yet to vote on this, and then they would have to do a judicial process on it. I just woke up, so got online just as you went live. Uh, well, that was perfect timing, Betsy. I guess so, Betsy. That was perfect timing. So, uh, uh, he is not. I do not understand where they keep saying that he was impeached. That is a fallacy. Article of impeachment have been voted on. Articles of impeachment, and it was one article. That is not true impeachment, people. He has not been impeached. Articles of impeachment have been voted on and passed through the House. Now they got to be voted on and passed through the Senate. Then they have to have a judicial process before, and you should all read how that is stated. I just stated how exactly how it reads. Uh, so he's not impeached. It is a fallacy and a and planned wording to try to make Trump look bad. Okay, uh, as bad as they can make him look. But if you read the articles of impeachment, that's all they did was pass articles of impeachment. It is not an impeach. It is not a impeachment until it goes through the Senate and it goes through a judicial process. And then it has to be voted on by the Senate with a majority vote to pass the Senate to go to a judicial process. Then after it does do that, if it does do that, the judicial process has to find him guilty of what they're saying. Then they can impeach. Y'all want to bring up Clinton. He wasn't impeached or whatever. If you remember right, the trial for his article of impeachment after it happened after after he left office. It finished. Then he was found guilty of some of the articles of impeachment that they passed on him. One thing that he wasn't found guilty was he was not found guilty of having sexual relations with that woman. But the rest of it they found him guilty of. So yes, he was impeached. And the impeachment held after he left office. According to what I've seen now twice, and I also heard out of Mitch McConnell's mouth, the Senate is not to convene until the 22nd. So that means what? Okay, so that means they can't even vote on. They can't even vote on the articles of impeachment through the Senate until the 22nd. So that shows you what they did, and it will have no bearing, it has no substance on any of it at this point in time. Just saying. Their wording, however, is to damage and destroy a man. Because what they did is they passed articles of impeachment. And that's how it's read. You first have to pass articles of impeachment through whichever judicial branch brings it up, or excuse me, not judicial, whichever branch of the government brings it up, which it could be the Senate or it could be the House. So this time it was the House. The House passed it. Now it's got to go through the Senate. Now, if the Senate brought it up, the House would have to. It would have to go through the House. Okay, vice versa. It works that way. It's a check and balance, is what it is. And then it would have to go through a judicial process. So then it becomes a impeachment if all three avenues see fit to pass it as an impeachment. Uh, and so it won't even be voted on by the Senate until the 22nd, which the inauguration is the 20th. Um, the judicial branch would it probably will even I don't know. This has been fucked up lately, but if they were smart, they would realize that there is no evidence to what they were stating. Again, I went back and I watched what President Trump said himself. Uh, he never he he asked for peace. I'm sorry. Ah, good, Salty Rant. I'm glad to hear that. Everybody at home are also well and healthy. I'm glad you're good doing. Yeah, you are COVID free. Good, Salty Rant. That's good. There you go, Betsy Pillar. That's funny. I just wanted to let you all know that's how that works. But because they want to damage this man, so he will never run for president again. Because they are totally afraid of that man. Guaranteed. They wouldn't have done what they did the way they did it. Big Nick's South Florida accountability, Betsy Peeler. He's a First Amendment auditor. I have always supported him. Now, we are not seeing eye to eye on this Trump stuff versus the BLM and Antifa stuff. We are not seeing eye to eye. Okay. Where I called it down the middle. He thinks it's okay that on I'm well, I ain't gonna say that because he said other things later on in my stream. But the way I took it, I will tell you say it this way: the way I took it, it seemed like he thinks it's okay to call everybody at the rally for Trump secessionists, terrorists, and things like that because of a small handful of people. He said he never seen videos, and I was the only one that seen videos of Antifa trying to storm the White House until I put links out here into my chat to several different channels that showed them doing the very same thing and trying to do the very same thing. Where they tried to pull down the uh, uh, barricades, not get let through by the police. See, there's videos of the police opening the barricades to let the Trump supporters up on them steps of the Capitol building. There's also video of a cop unlocking the door after they had it barricaded and locked it shut. So there, you see that them are things that also concern me on that. But 179 people is what they said, the number that they will have cases against for going into the Capitol and being riotous, and that, that's their number, 179 people uh, that did that. So because of that handful of people, out of people that were there guesstimating, I don't care what anybody says. I go with the majority of the people that say there was at least 800,000 people there. Okay, at that rally. Okay, they said they were literally miles and couldn't get any closer. There was approximately 800,000 people. I've heard that from many, many, many people that were there, including people that were there that were Democrats that were not with them. By no means. If you watch their live streams, they hated it. They talked crap. Pretty much, Betsy. Let's see here. I have no clue. Still don't know him. I am extremely picky about where I go. Only thing I know is if it hits the fan, I'm heading to my sister. She has a effing armory with enough ammo to hold off an army. There you go. The new world shipping. I like I like that new word there, Betsy. Shibit. I'm gonna use that. Shibit. It's great. But 179 people were being that broke into the Capitol. They were in there for 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. Do you think that if more protesters wanted to get in there, they would have? I think they would have, because it was occupied for 2 hours by that 179 people. Okay, so um, so that small handful of people made all the peaceful protesters evil, made them to where they don't have no constitutional right to peacefully protest. So I guess Martin Luther King and all his people don't have the right to peacefully. It didn't have the right to peacefully protest back in the day. Or the Black Lives Matter movement that was there being peacefully protesting at the White House 3 months ago didn't have the right to be there because they were evil seditionists, because approximately 200 people tried to rush the White House, not the Capitol building, the White House, and tried to break through the line. They were evil too. Or is it, again, I'm going to bring this up, or is it that that small handful of people should, on both sides, should be held accountable for what they did, and the peaceful protesters left alone? I think it's that one on both sides, because everybody, by the Constitution, has the right to peacefully protest. And I don't care who it is. They have the right to peacefully protest if they are a citizen of this United States and fall under the constitutional guidelines. And that's from Hispanic to Native American to black to white to Chinaman to Japanese to any race or creed, as long as they are American citizens and have the rights that are protected by the Constitution in the United States. I will stand by BLM. I will stand by Antifa. I will stand by the Trump supporters that were all peaceful. And you are not going to tell me just because of the way I was raised, I have racist tendencies. You tried to tell me that, Joe Cool, earlier. I call bullshit, buddy. I didn't grow up in that white world you wanting to claim I grew up in. And I know many white people that do not have a racist freaking bone in their body. I know many black people that do not have a racist bone in their body, and they would not even let them words cross their lips. That sounds very racist and one sided to a race, if you ask me. And I do not, I've never used that because that's the way you grew up. Bullshit. I grew up in a Native American community who have had just the same problems a lot longer than you have in the United States. Our history is right there for the Muskogee Creek Nation. Approximately 500,000 of us were killed. 500,000 of us were killed. That's the Muskogee Creek Nation alone. That's more than the Jews had. You might want to think about that before you talk your shit about because of the way I was raised. Same could be said about you if you want to go that route. The same could be said about anybody if you want to go that route. Yes, that's what Joe Cool tried to say to me, Betsy Pillar, earlier. And I took offense to that. And I would have nailed him on it. But he had things he needed to do, which I'm not saying he didn't. I'm going to say he did have things to do. So that statement coming out of your mouth can be said by any race, to any race, if you want to put it that way. But I didn't grow up in the white community, buddy. I grew up in a red community. Wow, interesting, Betsy. Interesting. Very interesting. That's cool to find out for you. I hope you get to find out more about your heritage. I hope that things get to come around for you. I really do. So to claim that I have racist tendencies is the wrongest thing to say because I could throw that in your lap just as quick, just as easy. And I can claim that statement is a very racist statement because you use that to try to be better than another race. That's what racism is. A race wanting to be better than another race. And you use that to claim that to make you better than another race. That was the wrong thing to say. Remember, we had that debate not too long ago in the scheme of things. It's a very off the ball statement to make. And if me supporting a man named Trump from having his rights taken away forcefully when he did nothing wrong by the Constitution, he did nothing wrong, is racist, then you are just as racist for fighting for your First Amendment rights because they're trying to take your First Amendment rights away. They're trying to take your freedoms away and your constitutional rights away, and you're fighting against that. So does that make you racist because you support people that fight against that? See, that's your double standard right there. I thought we were all in this together, or are we? Or is it just only there to convene for your convenience and no one else's convenience or anything else because they have a difference in opinion? It's okay for you to have your First Amendment, but it's not okay for someone else when they have a differ of opinion. Now I start to see some of the claims that I hear made. I hate to say this on some of these First Amendment auditors. Might be true. It's only convenient for them. It's only there for them when it's convenient for them. I hope that ain't true. Prove me wrong. Like I said, I'm willing to debate with you, talk with you, even agree to disagree with you. if I have to? Do I think I might think your opinion's wrong? Do I think your ability to have the free speech to speak your opinion should be wrong? No. Do I think because you differ from me and the way I think, you don't have the right to think the way you do and voice the way you do? No, I don't think that's right. I think you should have the ability to always speak what you want to say, no matter if it differs from me or not. Uh, I agree, Betsy. No, you're seeing my passion right now, Betsy. This is passion about something I believe in. When you're peacefully protesting, a small handful of people should never make you an evil person. Because if that's the case, then all the peaceful protests that I agree with the Black Lives Matter and Antifa movements, are null and void. And I can't give that. I can't say that because I agree with what they're what they're protesting when they're protesting it peacefully. But by your definition, every one of their protests are null and void too, and they're evil people too, because they went in, they burnt down government buildings, they stole from government buildings, they right there in Nashville, all over, all over. That even made it on the mainstream media, where they burnt down the judicial building. And before they did, well, they tried to burn it down. They did set in Molotov cocktails, but it didn't burn down. They tried to burn it down. But before that, they had video of them going in through a window, stealing all sorts of files out of filing cabinets, leaving with them. And the ones they didn't take, they piled in a pile, threw Molotov cocktails on. What was the difference? Not a damn thing between that and what happened at the Capitol. Not a damn thing. You assume that a man was going to go in and kill everybody he could get his hands on because he had straps in his hand without even hearing what that man intended to do with them straps. Maybe them straps were just meant to be a statement, just like today was a statement with Antifa in armor, military from military grade armor to homemade armor, walking down Manhattan streets. What was the difference of that one man versus 75 to 80 walking down Manhattan streets doing the same damn thing? I put the link to that video in my last stream, called Antifa in armor. Do you see that on mainstream? Oh no, you don't see that on your mainstream media. But then that was a straight up live stream straight out of Manhattan. They also 12 men, not women, and still 12 women going after one would be ridiculous. But 12 men beat her with umbrellas, egged her, tried to hurt, physically assaulted her. 12 men? You freaking condone 12 men attacking one woman by herself that was trying to do a news story? That was the same time they were marching in armor. That went down. Oh, I agree. But don't that seem like a setup to you that happened at the Capitol building too, Betsy? When there's videos of the cops opening up the barricades to let them in, there's video of the cop after they barricaded the door at the Capitol building, doors locked, where they unlocked the door and helped move the barricade. Hello? Okay, Betsy, no problem. I think that was both. I think you're right. The BLM thing, when that happens, when they're doing a peaceful protest, and then it turns out to be bad, I think it may be the government doing that. I also think that that deal at the Capitol building was a setup, and many people of different races, including black, think the same damn thing. I'm subscribed to 3 channels right now that are black men that run them channels. They they're good men, and they condemned the violence from the get go. Condemned it, but them being there to video what was going on, to see what was going on, to know what was going on, to support your constitutional rights and anybody else's constitutional rights any way they can. Are them black men wrong? I don't think so. Especially when they condemn the violence and have been condemning it. They've condemned it on both sides. Also seen them talk well of the peaceful protests on both sides as well. I know I talked about this before, but that's stuff that needs to be really thought about when you're claiming that one side's better than the other. When we all have the same problem. Welcome back, Bessie. We all have the same problem. The way I see it is we should remember a statement and keep this statement in mind. And maybe we should join forces and we might be able to actually get something done instead of being divided like they want us to be. And that is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Do I condone violence? No. You can have an enemy and still do it peacefully and deal with your enemy peacefully. Through words, through peaceful protests, through doing it through legal means, and everything else like that. Right now, we have a common enemy on both sides. Right now, we have a common enemy on both sides. Think about that. You're fighting against the government when it comes to police. We were fighting against the Trump supporters, fighting against the corruption in the government at the highest level. Well, who plays for the government police? Who ran and hid behind your government police that you have such a problem with? Who do you think will never defund your police? Because if they do, they won't have their protection at their homes or wherever they go. That shows you how bright your thinking is. If you really truly think you're going to get rid of them when they need them, all right, but when they need them, keep their houses safe. You're crazy. Who was the first person they called when uh, Nancy Pelosi's house was spray painted? Sure in the hell wasn't the Black Lives Matter, and it wasn't Antifa. They called the cops and demanded arrests. When Mitch McConnell's house got defaced with spray paint, did they call the Proud Boys? No, he called the cops and demanded arrests. So if you think that upper government's for you and going to defund, you're crazy. They love them cops. They're the first ones they call and demand arrests. There's you some common sense thinking. That's all that is, common sense. Even your mainstream media. The police were at Nancy Pelosi's house today due to defacement of her property. The police were at Mitch McConnell's house today due to defacement of his property. And guess what? There was black and white, both sides, side by side at Mitch McConnell's house, protesting when them cops showed up and dispersed both, made them go away. And that both sides were side by side and actually not fighting. And one was protesting one thing and the other was protesting another. Oh my God. Unity may not happen, Betsy. It did that day. Just to let you know. So I have faith in it. It gave me pause to think. A glimmer of hope, a small glimmer of hope, but I seen it. So it gave me a glimmer of hope. That two groups, BLM and Trump supporters, are at Mitch McConnell, voicing their opinions. Two different things and not fighting and not trying to kill each other. Peacefully protesting side by side. Mainstream media showed it once that I know of. CNN. But there was plenty of live feeds there from both sides too, I might add. I watched on Twitter. I watched it on a Discord channel. I watched it on YouTube. CNN screwed up and showed it and talked about it a little bit too, I might add. Because they were in shock and awe that Trump supporters and BLM were there at Mitch McConnell's house protesting. One protesting one thing and one protesting the other, and they weren't beating the hell out of each other. They weren't trying to fight each other. They weren't trying to kill each other. So there might be a possibility it could happen, Betsy. It happened once. Maybe it could happen again. We all got to remember we got the same problems here. Both sides, same problems. You now got many what people deem as leftist. I'm not either, Betsy, but I still hold hope. I'm realizing though, there's many leftists coming out and speaking out against big tech and what they did because they're realizing if they can censor a president, a sitting president, they can censor anybody at any given time that they want. Even your own people are seeing the folly of what's going on. So are them people that supported getting rid of Trump, are they now wrong? See, that's another reason why I'm having hope, Betsy. They're seeing the folly of that. If they could censor a sitting president, who the fuck are you? May I ask? You ain't nobody. You're just a pissant compared to that. So this is a folly to allow that to happen. This is a folly to support that happening. You know, there was a group. I agree. You know, there was a group of Democrats. They had a platform. It was called Walk Away because they were worried about the party being too left winged and going too far to the left. But they're still registered Democrats. They talked about how they thought it was wrong to take Trump's Twitter. First, they started by banning those videos. Now, the whole freaking platform's been banned. Yeah, it was called Walk Away. It's banned now. It's no more. If you try to go look them up, it says this platform has been banned due to policy violations. The whole platform. So they're going after Democrats as we speak too. It ain't just Republicans. If they don't fall in line, no matter what their party affiliation is, it's being shut down. Like I said, I'm waiting on this to be shut down. You think I'm falling in line? Probably not, because I am asking for true unity. and to see down the middle and quit veering from side to side. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And that's the good part of it and the bad part of it. That's if they agree with you or do not. They have the freedom by the First Amendment that you fight so adamantly for to say they think differently of you, as long as they do it peacefully. Just like you have the freedom yourself to disagree with me or disagree with a Trumper. You have that freedom. But if you let it be taken from you, if you let it be taken from one, it will surely be taken from you next. And it's already proven it to rear its ugly head. That is the truth. Yes, I have been up all night, actually, Bessie. I have. I've been researching, watching, seeing, keeping an eye on what's going on in my country. I'll get some sleep. Uh, Eventually. Yeah, that's about me, Bessie. I got about 2.5 hours sleep earlier. But yes, I am a little tired. I just want y'all to keep these thoughts in mind. As you say, one side's wrong and the other side's right. And you claim it's your First Amendment that makes you right. What makes their words any different? Just because they disagree with you? They don't have the right to the First Amendment? Wrong. Hey, poor dirt farmer, what's up, buddy? I hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. There's a man that sees that I watched him go a little bit right down the middle. I love poor dirt farmer. He's a good guy. A lot of people give him a bad rap, but they're idiots. They don't like the idea that you keep a chronicled, detailed uh, reports of officers that have committed child molestation, rape, broke their oaths, things like that. They ain't too fond of you for that, I think, poor dirt farmer. I don't understand why. I applaud it, and I ask you, and still will ask you again tonight. Please do not stop doing that. Keep doing it. It will be needed as well. Things like that will be needed. I have a feeling. If I'm missing my bet, I think things like that will be needed, unless I'm missing like that. And you having an extensive archive like that can be useful. See, I don't have Facebook Porter Farmer, so unfortunately, damn it. But I do appreciate you though. I agree with you on that, Betsy Peeler, and you should. That the only thing I know is that no 100% is that I will protect mine by any means necessary. Yeah, I agree with that, and you should. That's called being a good family member. Okay, well that's good, Porter Farmer. I'm glad you do. And I understand it is hard to do. If you were to do it on YouTube, it would be too hard to do it all on YouTube. And I understand that wholeheartedly. You, but keep keep that chronicled for us. And I'm talking when I say for us, I'm talking about we the people, and that means every person of the United States, not just one side. Oh, geez, you don't even want me to go start onto that, onto the other two there, Porter Barber. You're right. I don't know which can be worse. Honest. All right, guys. I've been on an hour. I've preached. I've been on my soapbox for an hour. All right, Porter Farmer. That's great. Awesome. I'll be watching you as long as I'm capable of doing it. Just to say that. Who knows? You and I might be the next ones taken down. Yeah. Oh my God. Really? That's it? That is it? Wow. I got a story for you that made it on the news feeds here, but you ain't. Here's something you are not seeing also in the mainstream media. Let's go to the other side of the coin. I keep saying you're not seeing things that are good for Trumpers. Let's go to the other side of the coin. You are not seeing things that are good for the BLM either. There was a lady that the cops, 91-year-old lady, she didn't know who was pounding on her door. Didn't know. She came to her door. She had a shotgun at hand. As soon as she saw the police, she dropped the shotgun. Okay. And the cops still shot her stone cold dead. 91-year-old lady. She even disarmed herself as soon as she saw it was the cops. And they still shot her stone cold dead. A 91-year-old woman. Did you see that on mainstream media? Hell fucking no, you did not. There's just something to think about. See, I gave you stuff too that they're keeping from you to fill you to fulfill your arsenal as well. Happened right here in Rochester, right here where I'm at. Don't see that shit on the fucking goddamn news. So they're keeping shit from you just as well as they are from us. They tried to do shit just to fuck with you just as much as they are. And the only reason I say us is I do support Trump to an extent. Do I support him wholeheartedly? No. I uh I support that he should have never had been censored. I support the Trump supporters that were peaceful in their protest. And I don't give a crap what anybody says. I'm going to go with the majority of numbers that I've heard that were there, not just one. Oh, I've seen that many people. There weren't that many people. So cool. You're outnumbered, way outnumbered by people that were actually there and were witness to what happened. And I'm going to give you the lowest number that any of them say is 800,000 people. And then were people that witnessed it, that were there, that walked them streets and seen the people there and did not just watch where uh, where a few 100,000 people were at the Capitol. There's a black man I watch. His name is Will. He was telling me they were as far as 4 miles away from the Capitol protesting because they could not get any closer because the streets were so clogged with people. Then you're watching your mainstream media and believing your mainstream media propaganda machine. Oh, I seen the footage. Well, you're outnumbered by a bunch that were there, not looking at pictures. They were actually there. And the next time I could do a StreamYard, I'll gladly talk to you. Unfortunately, I ran out of time on my StreamYards, and I don't want to fucking buy a subscription. Fuck that. When I can be censored tomorrow. Fuck that. That would be a waste of $20. When I can be censored tomorrow, ain't gonna play. So you gotta wait until I get my time back, whenever that may be, to have a StreamYard again. If I had the opportunity to, because like I said, I could be censored tomorrow. I ain't gonna be. I ain't gonna pay no $20. I ain't gonna pay no 40 or whatever, just to be censored tomorrow, and then I'd be wasting that money. Ain't gonna happen. So you all can have fun with it. Uh, and if you get censored, guess what? You just shit out of here. Just SOL, ain't you? Well, I ain't gonna be SOL. My money's too important to me right now. So I ain't gonna waste my time and my efforts. Put $20 to something that I might not ever get to use. As soon as I log out of here, hell, I could be censored. I don't know. You don't know either, do you? There you go, Betsy. There you go. Actually, if I did it the old fashioned way, I'd have a rotary phone and I'd call your ass and we talk over the phone. That's the old fashioned way. Or actually, you really want to go the old fashioned way? Let's go with writing a letter and I put it on a pigeon's fucking foot and tell it to go to your house. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking with you, Betsy. I'm playing with you. I'm playing. It was all meant to be fun. I know my sense of humor can be sort of dry at times. I could write you a letter and it may or may not get to you. I know some of my mail some of the important mail that I've had, I've literally had been mailed important stuff in the mail and it got to me a month later. Has it got to me at all? Uh, uh, I mean, so, uh, so that's the way the mail's going right now. That ain't good either. So I'll let you know. I had a letter sent to me first class mail, right? Overnighted first class mail. And I got it 2 days after it was overnighted first class mail in December because of the backup of the mail. There's a massive backup in the mail due to the virus. And then there's a massive, then you got December. There's normally a massive backup due to this Santa Claus Day. Okay, so you see, been working on making myself healthy enough to go on a panel. It's not going so good, and I know someone would be it would piss me off, and I'd end up yelling and make myself sick, and I'd have to go to the hospital. Betsy, do not make yourself sick, hon. No, it's not worth it. That is not worth it. Okay, girl, I'm telling you now, it's not worth it. I know you want to voice your opinion and all that, but you voice your opinion very good in these chats. A lot of people respect you and are willing to read what you got to say. Yeah, I know, Betsy. I know. Unless they're writing it to Santa Claus. Santa Claus still has that old fashioned mail system. he has he hasn't come into the modern day yet, you know. Well, maybe he has in some cases. I don't know. But on that note, guys, y'all have a good night, good morning, good day, good afternoon, whatever it is, in your part of the world. And I'll talk to you all later. That's you have a good night. Poor Dirt Farmer, you have a good rest of your morning, good rest of your night. Uh, Salty, if you're here, have a good rest of your morning, a good rest of your night. Teflon, you have a good day, good morning, and good rest of your night. I will, I will, Betsy. And I hope to see you tomorrow. I am out.